Coach, you said tonight was a must-win game. How big was that home run?
I'm so proud of our team right now. Like, it's we've been playing playoff baseball for a month, and they just stay with it. Like, it was a game we couldn't win a month ago. You know what I mean? And just the poise. And sometimes you just need competitors. I mean, like, literally I pulled them up at the end of the fourth inning and was like, look, guys, we have to win. And I never do that because we're always about the play and the process. But it's like we can't go sideways. And I didn't like some of the at-bats early in the game. Like, I thought, we were swinging for the moon, opening up the zone. And, we had some non-errors but non-plays, I thought Cade did a good job. I thought he got a little tired at the end. And it's a good team. Like, we've played everybody in that league, and they're right in the middle of the pack. Like, they do a great job coaching. They're getting the most out of what they have. They have some dangerous position players, and they played great tonight. I mean, they made us have to stay with it to win. And Gavin, story of the night. I mean, that was phenomenal. And Jared, obviously. Ashton, 2-strike RBI right there. Steven, 2-strike double. We played like a winning team, and deserved to win in a really good baseball game tonight.
What did you like about Gavin's game in particular?
It was like there was 2 of the 4 innings that were like 7 or 8 pitch innings. I liked that a lot. And then I thought he pitched well, and like, he mixed his pitches, located some fastballs, mixed the slider around a little bit, and made it tough on him. And again, those first 1, 2, 3, 4, they looked very hitterish tonight, and he was the one guy that was able to get him out of that.
I mean, he's been somebody that has kind of been, I guess, in terms of playing time, up and down this season. Do you think he's found something in the last couple of weeks?
I do. I mean, there was a weekend in there we couldn't use him against Vanderbilt. We got him up, and he's like, hey, I just don't feel very good. And that was a little bit of we wanted to make sure he was good after that. I love putting him in. I mean, that was about as high leverage as it got on Saturday night. And, he executed just enough to get a Pell to get his hands away from his body and keep it in the air and keep it in the park all at the same time. And I told him tonight it's a minimum of 2 innings. I told Fidel it's going to be a minimum of 2 innings. And, I mean, that obviously and Cade, that obviously shows you guys the importance of that win tonight.
When the team you're playing is making really good plays defensively,
yeah.
There were 2 hits that it looked like.
I know. Jared and the bat before, the double. Left fielder, like, I mean, he's got to be put up for some kind of Gold Glove award just on tonight alone. I don't know if you guys remember the Nichols game last year that we lost. It felt very reminiscent to that. They played a great game tonight. I mean, they played an absolute phenomenal game tonight. And we needed some special efforts, which we got out of Gavin, obviously got out of Jared. I mentioned the 2-strike hits of Ashton to drive him in, and then 2-strike double by Steven. Had to have that, and super proud of the team tonight.
You mentioned with some of the early at-bats in the game that you didn't love. Why do you think that was sort of the case?
There's a lot going on. Like, this is not easy. Like, we just played the number 1 team in the country, and these guys, like, they poured everything into that. I mean, we were 15 outs away from having a chance to sweep, and that means we played great baseball for most of the weekend. I know the score didn't end up great by the end of the game on Sunday, but we played great baseball. They're in the middle of finals. It's just a lot going on. Like, I could feel it a little bit today when we showed up. They looked a little fatigued and tired, and that's not to, again, take away anything from how we played tonight, because I thought once we flipped it, that's just called in the 4th inning on, we played great. We had really quality at bats. You mentioned the plays. Like, there's a lot of guys that had way better nights than what their stats will show in this game in terms of how they took at bats, how hard they hit the ball. But I think we just needed to control the zone a little better and not try to do too much. And you know how that goes. I mean, a lot of these guys are nearing the end here, and I'm sure they want to hit another homer, hit the box, and all that stuff. Those are just human. They're human beings. Like, those are emotions, and like Hayden check swung on a 1-0 pitch that wasn't even near the zone, and then, half swung on a 2-0 pitch. I was like, come on, man, like that's not it. And then I don't know if he had anything to show for it. He took much better at bats from there. I thought Jared took good at bats all night. Again, it's probably better than whatever hits we had, 8 hits in totality. It took a little bit to get going. Big home run by Brady, obviously. That was awesome.
Your thought process of leading off with Tommy tonight?
Tuesdays, home, getting him and Jared to the plate as much as possible. And, what's helped is more guys are taking good at bats. And so, like, Milam took 4 really good at bats tonight. So it's almost like he's a leadoff guy in front of them. We liked Paxton tonight. I thought he had 3 great at bats tonight. And it was actually probably 4. I just think as he becomes a great hitter, that line drive that he hit to the shortstop there, that's going to be smoked. We're close, with him with a few things. And we're just going to keep developing all of them. And it's hard because I love Mac, I love Paxton, and I love Jake. And, we're just kind of taking it day by day.
Is it odd that you guys are going on the road during the middle of finals week?
Yeah, obviously I'm not the schedule maker in the SEC. That's for sure. I think it's just part of the deal. I don't know. I don't have enough history I couldn't even remember or tell you what we've done in the last 2 years. Relative to that, I know we were home. Actually, I do know we were home for Ole Miss and Mississippi State, and so they're all done tomorrow, I think. We arranged it so they're all done. They'll be done before maybe a couple guys taking them in the hotel on Thursday, and computers and proctored and all that stuff. But I know it's a big lift to have that done with. I have a history of teams playing good at the end of the season, and I know the academic deal getting off them helps. I mean, that's what they're here for, but there's a lot to that. And this team, like last year's team, they did a good job in the fall in school, and hopefully they're doing a great job right now.
How would you evaluate Fidel's performance tonight?
I have to go back because Gavin threw the last 4 innings. I know he left some pitches, the sac fly. We were going for a strikeout right there, and it was up enough for the guy to drive it to center field. I sensed Coach Yeski would have maybe hoped for a little better execution, but I thought his stuff was it was good. It was 94, 95, and, ripped a couple good sliders. Really, really think he's close to, doing what he did the other night a lot more.
Brady had some trouble blocking some balls behind the plate tonight. What do you think was giving him some issues?
I'm not sure. You're talking about, I will say this, he caught 3 of guys that couldn't be more different. You know what I mean? In terms of Cade, in terms of what he does with the ball and how it goes and moves. And then Fidel, he's firmer, obviously. And then big break on the slider. And then Gavin is certainly unique. Maybe that played into it. I haven't talked to him. Coach Jordan does a phenomenal job with all those guys and the catchers. So I'm sure he'll dig into the numbers and look at it, and we'll get back at it and check.
Gavin going 4 innings tonight, how big is that?
It's enormous, and I'm so thankful for that because we take care of these guys, like pitch count and rest, and man, we went for it this weekend. I mean, we had a lot less guys available tonight than we've had on Tuesday. Just kind of the little performance, Griffin, we're trying to be super careful, with him. And so there's a lot of guys that Moffitt threw a bunch of pitches. So there's a lot of guys X'd out tonight, and we're always going to protect them. But there was never a doubt he was going to continue to go back out there. I said, hey, it was a minimum of 2 innings. And then I looked at him, and we didn't even say anything. I looked back before the 8th inning, and I was just like, he's like, oh, yeah. And there was no conversation about the 9th inning. And I don't know how many pitches he threw. I think it was under 50 or right around 50. Mm-hmm. And that's an awesome performance. That's, 12 outs on 50 pitches, sign me up for that all the time.
Did you know he could go 50?
Yeah, I do. He's a starter in high school, and we had to win. And again, that trophy, that national title thing up there, he has a lot to do with that. Oregon State, Kentucky, and then 4 times in Omaha. he's the ultimate competitor, and that's 2 massive performances in our last 2 wins, out of him, whether it's 3 pitches to finish the game, and that was awesome tonight.
I mean, just kind of building on that a little bit, last year you guys got some really big-time help at the end of the season from guys like Gavin, like Thatcher. Do you feel like this can be a kind of similar?
I think they're improving. I think we've won more, whatever, 10 out of 13 or whatever it is, because we're giving up less runs. And so I think the pitching staff is way trending in a positive direction. I think we've had 3 bad innings in whatever now, 3.5 weeks in the 3, and that's it. I mean, everything else has been great. I thought Cade got a little tired at the end of his outing tonight. Maybe Fidel wasn't as sharp. We gave up 2 runs there, but I think they've really gotten better. There's a lot of guys I trust, and it makes it tricky. We got to get guys on the mound tomorrow that are gonna factor into this weekend. Alabama's a good offensive team, so it's a little different look at how we need to go about it.
2 more. Talking about Alabama, what's the message for your team headed into this weekend in Tuscaloosa?
It's awesome. I mean, we've played our way into this is an awesome series, and we're gonna have a blast, going out there and competing and going for it. Let's end it on that one.